What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Fargo, and finally I have Tier 3 Spider-Man, and he is absolutely amazing. This guy is a total freaking beast. Now, we're just going to be playing with a black uniform today. I'll probably end up doing another PvP video in the red uniform with the same obelisk that I had, the same build that I currently have right now on him, and I do have a very good build on him. Just like I told you all I would do, I set him up pretty solid, but I can still make him even stronger than what he is right now. He's only rank 8,800 in the world, so there's a long way to go, but he has 38,700 physical attack. I do have 77% physical attack on my cars, 25% pierce, and then he does have all max attack stats except for his ignored defense. I actually need to level this up a little bit. I'll probably end up doing that from one of his uniform options. His dodge is actually maxed out, which is really great for his survivability, and he does have that leadership tag, which is awesome. And all we have as far as Urus, guys, is just mythic physical attack Urus on him. That's pretty much it. So I could easily have added a little bit of ignore defense if I needed to, and that is hurting his damage a little bit by having that 46% ignore defense. Not by a whole lot, but it is hurting him a little bit. And man, honestly, I mean, you all know what they've done for him. You've seen all the videos about him, everything that they queued up for this guy. I mean, it's awesome. The guy remove all debuff on his Tier 3, right? And of course, he increased all attack by 25% for 30 seconds. That is awesome, right? Because you're gonna, after you do that Tier 3, you're gonna get that increased attack by 25% for all that time, and you're gonna easily be able to do your next rotation within another 30 seconds, or you're gonna be able to do your next Tier 3 within the next 30 seconds, which is awesome. The passive that gives him the increased basic damage to supervillains by 60%, which is insane, right? The third skill, now the third skill, you know, it says the 0.4%. We all know that whenever you hold and delay this skill, it actually can go up to 1.2%, but you can find that that can be kind of difficult because, you know, whenever you're pulling back and holding this thing, sometimes you can actually get interrupted by tornadoes. Spider-Man doesn't have any super armor in his kit, and even though I do have an immunity to guard break obelisk on him, immunity to guard break doesn't prevent those tornadoes from still kind of interrupting your skill. So that is something to be wary of whenever you're playing with them. Whenever tornadoes are out, you need to be aware of those things, kind of run away from them, and whenever they disappear, then maybe go into your third skill. And trying to reach that 1.2% is very tricky. You got to wait till the last second and then go into your 4-5 afterwards. It's 3, delay, 4-5. And sometimes at 3, I mean, it'll automatically jump off, it'll automatically go, and then it'll actually set off the proc early sometimes. So you have to be very careful about that. The 4th skill gives him the sweet penetration, the remove all debuff. The remove all debuff actually is freaking amazing. But what you'll find against Mephisto is because you got to delay the 3, that 3rd skill, the delay it's a cool skill, but the delay does kind of hurt him a little bit because you're waiting, right? There's a few reasons that actually hurts them. For the reason I just explained with the tornadoes, and also, like, say, you know, you're facing against the last phase against Mephisto, and you want to have that remove all debuff if you're just going into your 3-4-5 combo against Mephisto, so that way you don't get stunned whenever Mephisto's slamming down his fist on you. Well, because you delay the 3, you can still get caught because your remove all debuff isn't up yet. So you got to immediately cancel the 3 and just get that 0.4% accumulation instead of trying to get a higher accumulation, which can be a little bit of annoying if that's the way you're going to play him. And then the 5th skill, of course, has that giant damage prog, and that's where all of his damage is going to be at. And then his passive here, the 30% recovery, is insane. The invisibility is awesome for his survivability, right? And he's also got a regular heal in his kit. I think the heal's on his 4th skill, yeah. 20% recovery. So when you take a look at the rotation for Spider-Man, it really is pretty straightforward. It's 3, delay, 4, 5. And the longer you delay the 3, the more accumulation you're going to get. If you just, whenever you hit this 3, right? If it holds for the full amount of time, it's going to be 1.2%. But the thing is, man, once he sets off, once he lets go, if he hits him, he does quite a few hits, he can actually set off the proc early. So the idea is to try to time it the best you can. So like, and then go into your 4-5, right? And we got our 1.2% accumulation. But it takes a lot of practice to get it down. And something that I want you guys to be aware of is, like, whenever you're playing with an obelisk that has a certain type of proc on it, like if you're playing with a mighty or a brilliant CTP of energy or destruction, whatever it may be, you know, you got to build up the bar on the bottom for your beatdown proc or for your strike proc in the CTP of destruction's case. And the thing is, the moment you hit your skill, that proc starts. That 5-second proc starts. So you actually have to let the 3 hold for almost 2 seconds before you actually get the 1.2% accumulation. So you're only actually getting about 3 seconds of the strike proc from the CTP of destruction, at least in my case, or 3 seconds of the beatdown from the CTP of energy. So that is something to keep in mind. And his fifth skill does last a good long while, and so does his tier 3. So I found in some testing that I've done, I might show you guys this in another video, that if I just delayed it for a little bit and then went into 4 or 5 and just got the 8% accumulation instead, wherever it's at, right? If I just got the 8% accumulation, 0.8% accumulation, it actually did just as much damage because, one, the proc was more consistent and we got more of the strike proc on the 5th skill, right? We did more damage. Well, we did about the same amount of damage as what I would if I would just delay the 3rd skill for 2 seconds, get the 1.2% accumulation. And I might show you guys that in another video, but literally it's 3, 4, 5. Let that 5 play out. I mean, look how long that skill is, man. That's what I mean. Like, the more of the strike proc or beatdown proc that you have on that skill, the more damage you're actually going to do. Because remember, when the strike proc's up, you actually have your max ignore dodge also. And after you do 3, 4, 5 once, you'll do it again. 3, delay, 4, 5, right? Actually, probably want to delay 3 a little bit longer. We're trying to get to 1.2% accumulation. And then on your 3rd rotation, it's 3, 4, tier 3, 5. Right? So it's just 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, tier 3, 5. It's a real simple rotation. Now, you probably could use your tier 3 more often if you would do 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, right? And let the 5 play out. And then, right, you'd build up your proc again, your strike proc, and then you go 2, 1, 3, 4. Tier 3, 5. Actually, you want to delay the 3 a little bit. But I find a lot of times that I have trouble keeping the proc where it belongs, doing it that way. So that's why I've kind of split the rotation where it's just 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, tier 3, 5. It's got a fully awakened power bang real set, and we have the brilliant CTP of destruction. And I do think that the CTP of destruction is a very good hybrid build for him, or hybrid obelisk for him, because it does give you that immunity to guard break, right? He doesn't need the penetration. He already has it, especially in his red uniform, but it is nice to have that guard break immunity. It's not going to be the best obelisk form in PvP, but I think it's going to be a good mixed blend where you can actually play him in PvE and PvP, because he's honestly godly in both game modes, like both styles. He's really amazing in both of them. And this thing is a really good roll brilliance. Got 230% proc on it. It has increased to damage to boss types by 200% and increased additional damage to boss types by 50% of concentration. So it's a really good rolled obelisk. And then we do have a mythic uniform. So I'll show you guys what happens whenever you try to use your tier 3 every other rotation, okay? It doesn't really work the best for Spider-Man, and we'll try to build it up as fast as we can. Now, you could let your tier 3 kind of charge up a little bit before you do this, but if you just try to go balls to the wall and run up here, right? Go 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, right? Our proc landed right where we wanted it, okay? We're going to try it again. And we're going to go 2, 1, 3, 4. And then as you notice, the tier 3 wasn't ready. So you still would have to go into a 3rd rotation in order to try to get your tier 3. Now let's try another one. Let's try another one, okay? So we'll try it again. We're just going to have to use the 2, 1 twice before we go into our 2nd rotation. So we'll build up the strike proc, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to try to hit our 2, 1 again. Okay. All right, we're going to run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. Here we go. And then we're going to go 2, 1, 3, 4. And then the tier 3 still wasn't ready, right? So it just doesn't work the best whenever you're trying to do your tier 3 every other rotation. I just find it a lot easier to go 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, tier 3, 5 for good old Spider-Man, man. His damage is just outrageous. So I'll go ahead and pull up runs for you guys. And this is a run against Mephisto. Now, this is the highest I can go right now. This is just stage 24, but Spider-Man is going to mutter. By the way, guys, I have type enhancement 6 on my Spider-Man, so I'm getting a lot of extra damage to Mephisto, and I'm actually getting a lot of decreased damage received also against Mephisto. which is godly, guys. Like, he is so good. But remember, when them tornadoes are out, if those things hit you while you do your third skill and you're slanted back, it will interrupt you. It will. He doesn't have super armor. Now, if your tier 3 was up and you had that invincibility up, it'd be a different story because you get super armor from your invincibility, but that isn't the way he plays. You always start his rotation off with doing the third skill. So if there's no tornadoes in the run, it's going to be really easy for him, especially if you have the immunity guard break obelisk on him. But if you don't have But if you have tornadoes in the stage, he is susceptible to getting interrupted whenever he does that third skill. It kind of sucks, guys. It's something they have to be really aware of. It's not a deal breaker by any means. I mean, look at the way he's melting this thing. Like, he's freaking destroying this thing. I love the little guitar music also. That's a really nice little touch they did for Spider-Man. You got the police sirens and then you got that little guitar in the background. And he's a tanky dude also, man, because of that passive heal that he has, and also because the heal he has on the fourth skill, the survivability from the invisibility. I mean, he really is the complete character. It's hard to believe that he's a free-to-play character. It really is. It's hard to believe that they did such a good job on this guy, because usually, well, what they've been doing with Spider-Man for years is milking his popularity, and finally he's what he should be, right? I didn't use my tier 3 there because I knew he was going into the next phase. Now, right here, I could hit the 4, right, if I wanted to. But remember, I'd have to just, immediately cancel the third skill, so that way I get the debuff from the 4 or get the debuff from the tier 3, right? And I don't want to immediately cancel the 3. I want to get more accumulation, right? I try to get as much accumulation as I can, but look at this, guys. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. He freaking flew through that shit in 2 minutes. He is godly, my friends. And now here's stage 42 against Null. And, like I said earlier, I did some test runs where I actually didn't delay the third skill. I just built up my 0.8% accumulation instead of 1.2%. And I found that, getting more of the strike proc on his fifth skill combined with the residual damage from the fourth skill or the residual damage from the tier 3 also, that I did just as much damage instead of trying to delay the third skill to try to get that 1.2% accumulation. And if you guys want to see that comparison, I can show you that in another video. But in this one here, you can see that I am holding not holding, but I'm letting the third skill delay for as long as I can, so that way we can try to get that 1.2%. Because there's just something about not getting the max accumulation. You want the max accumulation, but even in his regular rotation with his 3, 4, 5, I can do like 3 bars at stage 42. I wish to God I had more physical attack on my cars. I mean, he would be even stronger, especially with the obelisk that I have on him. He would be just, he already is godly. But look at how many bars he's already taken off, right? And the thing I love about Spider-Man, a lot of things actually, is his ease of play, his survivability, and even he has a long cooldown on his fifth skill. So you're still running around anyway, so it actually works really well to have some kind of mighty on him, right? Whether you're building up your beatdown for an energy or building up your strike for the destruction, you're running around, so you're still building up the meter every time you run through your rotations. So the obelisk works really, really well for him. And in my opinion, for PvE, I think that the Mighty CTP Destruction is really the best way to go, because you're not going to get guard broken again. If tornadoes are out, he can get interrupted, so you have to be careful of that. I mean, if his tier 3 is up during the tornadoes, you don't have to worry about it. But you got to be really, really careful. And I also love the fact that his fifth skill, you can just move around. That adds to his survivability. Something else to note is, a lot of times when Null does he goes in his frenzy and the symbiotes kind of spread out outside of him, because Spider-Man has so much AoE on his fifth skill and he can move around, you can actually get away from Null and spin that car around and actually still hit him as you're going around him while he does that, which is awesome. That is pretty sick, guys. That is really, really sick. I mean, this is easy, by the way. This is easy. This only took like 1 try. I could have done this live for you guys, but I wanted to do this run because it was a fairly decent run, but I do think I could have done a little bit better, Now, see, my 5 isn't on cooldown, so I wanted to go into a rotation there, but I couldn't. But look at how fast he's destroying this thing. And yeah, and another reason the strike proc's awesome on him is because he gets max ignore dodge every single time, which is awesome for a character that doesn't have ignore dodge, right? Spider-Man is godly, right? Now right there I could have hit my tier 3, but a lot of times I find whenever I try to go in my tier 3 in that specific moment, I can't go into it fast enough and go into my 5th skill. A lot of times the proc will land actually on the tier 3, and I actually want it on my 5th skill. And yeah, oh no, when he jumps on top of you, you're pretty much dead. And if Spidey has full life, he can actually tank it. Now, I don't want to use my tier 3 yet. I'm trying to save it for the next phase of Null. Because if you do have that tier 3 ready, Spider-Man has enough survivability and enough tankiness that he can actually tank this a little bit. He can't sit in there for the entire time, but he can take it. Now, because my life is so low, I'm actually just playing it safe, right? But look at the time, guys. You know, minute 15 seconds down to the last, 6 bars. Yeah, he's murdering this thing. All right, and we got enough damage that we can actually get away. See right there? See how... Let me back that up a little bit. I'll show you what happened there. Watch this. Okay, I'll use my 3rd skill, and that tornado is going to hit me. There we go. See that? Right? If he doesn't dodge it, that damn tornado will interrupt your skill. So we only had 0.4% accumulation there, which sucked. Right? If we'd had that 1.2% there, we'd have melted in one shot and actually done this a little bit faster. But still, almost a minute to spare at stage 42, guys. Yeah, at stage 42. I mean, he is godly. Freaking insane character. And I didn't even mention on his uniform effect, he gets the extra critical rate increase, the critical damage increase, which makes it easier to max out his stats. The dodge rate increase is actually really good for his survivability. I mean, he's godly. He's godly, and I'm going to be using this character. I'm definitely going to be going up to stage 44, and I don't know yet, but I might end up taking this obelisk off of him and maybe putting it on Makari for stage 45 to 49. Let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see that, because we do need speed characters from 45 to 49. I might do that, or I could just keep it on Spider-Man just to see how high I can go. I mean, I finished stage 42 with a minute left, and I actually think I could have done it a little bit faster than that. So I might try to go to 49 just with Spider-Man. Let me know what you guys would like to see. And I'm loving Spider-Man. The ease of play, the survivability, the proc friendliness. He's just a godly character. So let me know what y'all think about Spider-Man. I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GMT+7 time. The link is in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See ya.